I mean, I kinda do. You're just joking about the teachers, right? You can't do anything to them. They're the staff.
The last nitwit teacher who thought they could handle me was sorely mistaken. Not only is his ass gone, but in prison. All I had to do was tell a little fib about him being too friendly with a bottle of alcohol, and I said he assaulted me sexually, and he was axed quicker than a tree on its last legs. No one can prove that I'm lying either. I even planted some alcohol in his office. It was so easy and foolproof. Learn this lesson quick, and you'll do okay around here. Don't mess with me.
There is a hierarchy in every high school. It's a social order that you must adhere to. Even at the most prestigious of schools, including my private all-girls high school. We have the jocks, the musical students, the girls who are into math, and then we have the girls who are absolutely untouchable. They have so much power that even the teachers are afraid to stand up to them, no matter how terrible they are. Lauren Montague was one of those students. She was the pretty popular girl who terrorized everyone. There were horror stories that constantly circulated the school of how she would put tacks in other girls' shoes during gym, tearing off other girls' clothing if they made the unfortunate mistake of wearing the same outfit as her, or even making rumors that someone was pregnant, getting them expelled from the school. There was one time that she forgot to do her homework, so she blackmailed me into giving her mine. I gave it to her without hesitation. Rumors were where she held most of her power over others. The Girls' Academy was a very competitive school, and rumors alone were enough to get someone kicked out. Reputation mattered here. There was one rumor in particular that made even the teachers scared to correct her behavior. 2 years ago, the school had a male history teacher, who everyone loved. His name was Mr. Adams. He had been teaching at the school for at least 20 years. He was kind, affectionate, and patient with all of the students. He even got along with the troublemakers because he was so patient with them and compassionate of their situations. They would try harder in his class than in anyone else's. Everyone loved him that much, except for Lauren. He was the only teacher who was brave enough to call her out for being a terrible person to her classmates. He actually stood up to her on my behalf one afternoon.
Ms. Lauren, I understand that you've been spreading rumors about Ms. Morgan cheating on the last history test. I can assure you that she did not, as I monitor my students closely while they are taking tests.
What? I didn't say that at all. You're just taking her word over mine. How can you show such blatant favoritism for students?
She didn't tell me this rumor at all. I watched you tell your friend Miss Regan in the hallway this afternoon. You know how competitive this academy is, and to be spreading rumors like that could cost Ms. Morgan her scholarship. Frankly, this behavior is very unbecoming of you, and not at all suitable of a student at the Girls' Academy. I will now escort you to the principal's office to this matter up with her.
The rumor about me was immediately dispelled, and I didn't have to worry about losing my scholarship anymore, which was a huge relief. However, Mr. Adams was mysteriously fired the next week. Everyone was in shock. How could such a beloved teacher who had been here for so long be dismissed so easily? This was when the rumor started around the school that Lauren was somehow responsible for his termination and got him fired in retaliation for standing up to her. There was a girl in my class named Camila who always knew about the gossip that went on in the school and kept tabs on everyone. We weren't exactly friends because I knew how much she liked to talk about everyone else's business. I knew I couldn't tell her much without the rest of the school knowing, but she was still good for gathering information. Do you know what happened to Mr. Adams?
Oh, yeah. I heard her bragging about it this morning. Lauren got him fired.
What? How could she possibly do that? She's just a student.
She told everyone that she went to go see him during office hours and that he was drunk as a skunk, reeking of alcohol. She said that he even tried to convince her to drink with him, even though we're all underage.
Oh my God, are you serious? I didn't know that
He didn't. She was laughing about it in the hall earlier. She said, I lied about him having an alcohol problem, planted some wine in his office that I swiped from my parents, and he got fired like that. They can't prove I'm lying either. The school had no choice but to fire him, really.
That was 2 years ago. Everyone knew she had lied about poor Mr. Adams, but were too afraid of what she would do to their own reputation if they said anything about it. She was like the quiet queenpin that ruled the school, and everyone knew it. Until one day, she went too far. I happened to be walking home with Camila one day. It wasn't like we were intentionally walking together. We lived in the same neighborhood and happened to be walking the same way. Camila was especially talkative. I did my best to nod along politely but wasn't initiating conversation back. As we were walking along, we heard a soft moaning off in the distance. We decided to investigate and follow the noise. As we got closer, we found one of our classmates a little off the sidewalk, nearly hidden in a bush. It was the quiet girl who always got A's in every class, Vanessa. We helped her up and realized the state she was in. Her clothes were in tatters, and she was covered in bluish bruises all over her body. Her face was swollen, and there was dried blood stuck to her face. We were so shocked that we didn't even ask her any questions, just stared at her with wide eyes and open mouths. Finally, Camila broke free of the reverie and spoke. "What in the world happened to you, girl? Are you okay?" Vanessa explained that Lauren had demanded that she write a paper for her, but she couldn't because she was so busy with everything else. Between school, cram school, and working a part-time job to support her sick mother at home, she barely had time to do her own schoolwork. Lauren wouldn't hear any of this and lied to Vanessa's boyfriend to get back at her. She told him that Vanessa had cheated on him with another man and was pregnant with his child. In a blind rage, he attacked her in the street. The two of us immediately called the police. That horrible boyfriend was behind bars now, but that still left us with a major problem. Camila and I looked at each other with the same thought in our eyes. Lauren had to be stopped. To go about this, we had to be sneaky. We had to be cunning. We had to be as backhanded as she was if we were to ever put a stop to her. The only way anyone would ever believe that she was lying was if she admitted it herself. So we thought of a plan. In order for Vanessa to tell on herself, she would need to do it around someone who she didn't feel intimidated or threatened by. We needed to lure her in with a false sense of security so she would let her guard down and tell the truth. The three of us decided to recruit someone who didn't go to our school to talk to her, Camila's younger sister, Katie. Lauren was the class president. She didn't have the grades for it, but she wanted the position and everyone was too afraid to tell her no. One of the duties of the class president was to give prospective students a tour around campus. This is where Katie came in. We sent her to the tour with a secret camera hidden in her hat and let her go to work. We nervously watched them interact on the live camera feed from Camila's house, waiting for Lauren to incriminate herself. Vanessa was so afraid for Katie that she dared not even take a breath. I had to remind her to breathe.
And you're the class president? Do people listen to you?
Please. I own this school. I own the stupid girls that prance around here, and I own the nitwits that teach here. And when you enroll, I'll own you too. As long as you stay in line, you got nothing to worry about.
What happens to people who don't stay in line?
You don't want to know, kid.
I mean, I kind of do. You're just joking about the teachers, right? You can't do anything to them. They're the staff.
The last nitwit teacher who thought they could handle me was sorely mistaken. Not only is his ass gone, but in prison. All I had to do was tell a little fib about him being too friendly with a bottle of alcohol, and I said he assaulted me sexually, and he was axed quicker than a tree on its last legs. No one can prove that I'm lying either. I even planted some alcohol in his office. It was so easy and foolproof. Learn this lesson quick, and you'll do okay around here. Don't mess with me.
Just like that, we got it. As soon as Lauren finished her sentence, the three of us cheered. With this footage, we can show the principal and get Mr. Adams his job back. The very next day, the three of us stormed into her office and showed her the recording. She watched in a grave silence before turning to us.
Thank you so much for clearing Mr. Adams' name. It pained me greatly to have to terminate him because he had been here for so long and was so beloved by the students. I will share this with the authorities immediately.
Camila and I jumped in our excitement while Vanessa breathed a deep sigh of relief. We really did it. We avenged all those girls over the years that Lauren had embarrassed, humiliated, or gotten kicked out of school. The principal even started to cry with joy, and I understood why. Lauren had gotten away with so much over the years. She was the tyrant that even the principal was afraid of. She had threatened and blackmailed everyone into a state of complete fear. I knew of some girls who had dropped out of school because they were just too afraid of what Lauren might do to them, even though this was the best high school to prepare for college. For a lot of girls, this school was their last chance at getting a good life. This was their last chance to get into a good school. She had ruined that for so many people. The utter humiliation that she had made them go through made me sick to my stomach. The principal cleared her throat and wiped tears from her eyes.
Clearly, Lauren needs to be expelled immediately for this deviant and maniacal behavior. I am sending this tape to her parents at once. I am also informing them of the role that she played in Vanessa's assault case.
After her parents learned of Vanessa's behavior, they completely disowned her. Apparently, they took her out of their will and left her nothing. They even went so far as to surrender her to the state so that they were no longer her legal guardians. I guess the realization that they had a compulsive liar for a daughter who got so much joy from manipulating others was too much for them to bear. Before leaving her, they transferred her to a boarding school in a different state so that she wouldn't start any more trouble with the girls at the school again. After she was in the foster program for a couple of weeks, a distant aunt of hers heard what had happened and adopted her. Camila, ever the person to be up to date with the latest gossip, says that her aunt treats her like a servant around the house and has her busy with housework all the time, like cleaning the house, cooking for her, mowing the lawn. Lauren must have inherited her mean spirit from her aunt because the woman verbally abuses her night and day. She's so tough on her that she had fallen behind in her studies and needed to repeat her junior year of high school over again, nothing less than what she deserves. The following week, the three of us found Mr. Adams happily moving back into his office. He was whistling a little work song as he unpacked. When he saw us, he thanked us for the part we played in clearing his name. We told him what was happening with Lauren with her aunt, and he smiled.
I knew she would get what was coming to her.
Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe.